November 1 reopening, Tham Luang cave reopening, and are COVID numbers actually rising? That's coming up in today's Good Morning Thailand on the Thaiger. Hello and welcome to Good Morning Thailand. I'm Jay and joining me is Tim.
Hi Jay, well, we're not quite in our new set yet.
Yes, not yet, but we are in the Bangkok office. So as you can see, there's Bangkok, and this is Bangkok. We are in our new studio. We're still setting up. This is a temporary setup, but yeah, things are cracking on.
Very temporary indeed. But one thing that is a consistent part of the program
Coffee culture.
Coffee culture and their beautiful mugs.
And they're beautiful mugs. Pass me the mug. So you can actually buy this mug at coffeeculture.asia, limited. I believe there are 16 pieces available. So this is a very limited edition cup made with a Thai artist in collaboration.
Pretty.
Yeah, very pretty. So find your mug at coffeeculture.asia.
We also got the packets up.
Exactly, as well as your roast and ground coffee. They have many different, types of coffee. Organica. They've got Robusta, Organica, and Robusta. Green tea. So find your roast of coffee. So thank you Coffee Culture for sponsoring the show. And before we get started also, I'd like to thank Mirko Verdonk for being a Thaiger legend. Thank you for joining the channel and supporting our show. Mirko.
Oh, also got some other quite interesting exciting news for our members from, I think, tomorrow, depending if we can get, you can see us in the background. All we can see is a mess of boxes and lights and people without desks. Anyway, we are trying to get ourselves sorted out. But we're going to have a members-only program with Caitlin and me, and that will be starting maybe tomorrow. Also, we have a new person, our new Natty.
That's right, we have a new host.
She starts today, and she is going to be doing the Thailand Top Stories program.
That's correct, yes.
So, and you'll be seeing some new faces in coming weeks as well. But yeah, hopefully from tomorrow, for members only, including Mirko.
Yes.
We've got our program, Thailand Top... No. We've got Caitlin and me doing like a sort of a news preview.
Yeah. What
the stories are going to be making the news during the day. We haven't got a name for it yet.
We haven't got a name. If you have any suggestions, members, please leave them in the comment section below.
The Caitlin and Tim show? No, it'd be the Tim and Caitlin show.
The Tim and Caitlin show. Come on now. Yeah.
The Tim and Caitlin show.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, we've got a lot of topics to talk about today. Let's start with the November 1st reopening. Now, the Prime Minister, Prayut Chan-o-cha, yesterday had a briefing in which he basically announced that tourists from low-risk countries will be allowed to enter the kingdom without quarantine starting November 1st. Now, once again, this has not been confirmed in the Royal Gazette, but the Prime Minister coming out and actually making an announcement about this puts a little more, oomph to the message. There is validity to the message. So what do you think about this, Tim?
We went on to TV last night, an address to the nation, and a lot of it was light on content.
Yes.
Because, we'll go through the details in just a moment, but the bottom line is none of it is confirmed yet.
That's right.
So we'll go through the actual specifics, but I thought it was more of an election speech.
Yeah.
He's gearing up for next year's election. Some of the phrases he used.
Right, so just to give you a quick background information on what actually happened, preconditions still apply, firstly, to these tourists. So you do need to provide a RT-PCR test before traveling. You need to be having a negative test, as well as after you've arrived in Thailand, another negative test, and then you'll be free to roam anywhere in Thailand, just like everyone else.
So at the moment, he said there are 10 countries they're calling low risk.
That's right.
They've only named 5 though.
That's correct, including UK, US, Singapore, 2 more. Germany and...
Oh, come on.
China.
China.
Yeah.
Problem is the Chinese aren't coming anytime soon because they're not really allowed to travel and return to China. So we don't know what those other 5 countries. Any bets?
I'm guessing...
Botswana?
Rwanda?
Azerbaijan?
Who knows?
We don't know. Australia might be one of them, considered low risk.
But
but they're not allowed to travel until, I think they're saying from November, Australians may be able to travel. As soon as we know, we'll
Very popular destination, Thailand, for Australians. They love coming here for holidays.
For 2 decades, there's been a consistent 500,000 or so visitors every year out of the little country down under. So they've been very consistent visitors.
That's right. So I have a direct quote here from the Prime Minister who said, by December 1st, they will also consider allowing consumption of alcohol beverages in restaurants as well as the operation of entertainment venues. This is regarding the provinces that are still currently in the dark red zone, so provinces like Bangkok especially.
We're now in a dark red zone, Jay.
Yeah, we are. We're in the thick of it.
Look at it, dark red out there.
Into the thick of it.
Have you noticed much, like since arriving here a couple of days ago?
Well, I'll tell you what really surprised me. I felt like, being in a dark red zone, we're going into Bangkok, but as I walked to work, I had like about a 400-meter walk to work, I realized that everything just seems normal. I didn't even feel I was in a dark red zone. People just going on about their day, everyone's just, everyone's wearing a face mask, but everyone just like they're living life like there's no pandemic. It's very crowded. It's extremely crowded everywhere you go. I'm scared just walking into 7-Eleven. There's like 200 people in each 7-Eleven.
We are sort of in the thick of the business district of Bangkok. I noticed it yesterday when I thought, I need another pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Because I literally travelled here with a backpack, and once you put a pair of shoes in the backpack, there's no room for anything else.
That's right.
So I'll get a pair of shoes when I get to Bangkok. So I went shopping at about 8 o'clock last night. All the shutters were coming down.
That's right.
Okay, I'll have to come back earlier tomorrow.
Yeah, and you'd think this is strange, but normally the malls in Thailand would close about 10 p.m., 11 p.m. But since this is Thailand, the vendors normally close the shop 1 hour before closing time anyways. But since the closing times have now been reduced, the curfew's at 10 p.m., shopping malls need to close by 9 p.m., so people are starting to close at 8 p.m.
So the bottom line on all this is that it's light on detail and heavy on rhetoric, because the Prime Minister spent most of the time of his speech saying that Thais have been suffering for the past 2 years, now time to get the doors open, get the economy started, and it really sounded like an election speech. But we've got to wait for the CSSA and CSA, and the Public Health Department to tick these, and then the Cabinet's going to have to approve the Prime Minister's reopening schedule.
And those were the two people that the Prime Minister was actually trying to address in his speech as well. He will need confirmation from both of them to go on ahead with the full reopening on November 1st.
And check this, this is one of the lines. General Prayut said he has recognised the extraordinary achievements of public health workers, other officials and all citizens for their responses to his appeal in June to ready the country for quarantine-free arrivals within 120 days. Election speech much.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk about the Tham Luang cave reopening.
I need to have a cough, so...
Right, and also the COVID numbers on the rise, apparently. There's a conspiracy going on. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back to Good Morning Thailand. I'm Jay, this is Tim, and now it's time to talk about the Tham Luang cave. It's finally reopening back again, a tourist attraction in general, but now even more popular. For those of you who are not aware, Tham Luang cave was the cave that some students were actually trapped in, and it became a global news. And it went viral everywhere. Everyone from all across the world, divers and experts, came to actually rescue these students and a teacher who went trekking into the cave. The sea level and the floods rise, and they were stuck in there.
So it was 12 young soccer players and their 24-year-old coach. They went for an excursion in the caves, and they got stuck in there with some monsoonal rain blocking off their path to get back out. They weren't the only ones stuck in the caves, though. There was also another 4 Thai adults. Yeah. And it's interesting that the caves are now reopening some, 3 years? Yes. 3 and a bit years after the events in July 2018.
That's right, and this is in the Chiang Rai Mae Sai district.
Mae Sai, which is right up near the Myanmar border. Yep. Beautiful part of the world, but hard to get to. And when it rains up there, it pours, and
yes.
certainly did when it trapped the boys in there. So really interesting that they're going to be opening up part of the caves, even in as far as where the Thai Navy SEALs.
That's right. They've extended where you can trek during the cave, and you can actually visit those areas where the Navy SEALs took the route to finally find and rescue the students and the football players. Yes.
So another thing that this coincides with is a new movie has just been released
That's
called
right.
The Rescue.
Yep.
Now, I saw parts of the movie the other day and an interview with the two directors, Academy Award winning directors, their names of which elude me at the moment. But the movie has been reconstructed, sort of a documentary, where they've interviewed some of the main cave divers that were brought in some cases reluctantly by the Thai authorities, who really wanted to do it all themselves. But luckily they did. And two British cave divers were the ones who, almost by complete chance, as it's sort of revealed in this movie, were able to come across the boys.
That's right. And we got to know some details that we weren't aware of before. They didn't even expect to actually rescue these students. Once they found them, they thought that they wouldn't be able to get them out.
There were some interesting, I'm trying to find the lines. I wrote a story on the weekend at the Thaiger, but without getting the words exactly right. One of the divers said that after they sort of found them and they did some video recording with them, some of the video recording you see in that film has never been seen before.
That's right.
They went back in the water, heading back to the cave of the Tham Luang Caves, the mouth of the Tham Luang Caves, and they were thinking to themselves, we may be the only people that will ever see these boys. How the hell are we going to get them out?
Right.
And they were telling the parents that after they concocted this crazy idea of anaesthetising the boys to get them out, that it was extremely risky and they expected multiple fatalities.
Right.
So they were very serious about it. Another thing is that 2 days before they started bringing the boys, 2 days before they found the boys, in another chamber very close to the mouth, they found 4 Thai adults,
Right.
who were also stuck in there. Now, their passage from that chamber to get out to safety required about a 30 to 40 second time underwater. And so they told them what they were going to do. They gave them the face shields, the goggles and the breathing equipment, and apparently 2 of them completely panicked.
Yeah.
And if not for the fact that was only 30 seconds, they would have perished because they were fumbling with their face mask. And so then after they found the boys and they thought of the idea of bringing them out one by one, they're thinking they couldn't even get these adults to breathe underwater for 30 to 40 seconds.
Exactly, it's a stressful time. Anyone would panic, and if they're not,
I would.
Yeah, if they're not experienced divers or don't do diving at all, anyone would panic. So it was a very, very difficult task.
I thought the boys were 2 hours travel underwater, so the whole thing was fraught with a lot of expectations of high risk and high fatality. So I think this movie, The Rescue, and any visit that you make to the Tham Luang Caves will exemplify the fact that what they did and the way they did it was extraordinary, and we're so lucky that those 13 young men were able to get out of the caves.
Right, Tim, thanks for that. And we're going to take a quick break, and after we come back, we're going to be talking about the COVID-19 numbers actually rising, say some rural doctors. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Good Morning Thailand. It's now time to talk a little bit about COVID-19. Specifically...
COVID-19, what's that?
Let me tell you, Tim. Well, COVID-19 numbers are actually rising and not dropping according to rural doctors.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Nothing has been confirmed yet. However, the Rural Doctors Society have called out the CCSA for providing false numbers or not the right amount of COVID-19 infections that have been going around in Thailand daily.
They sort of say that the numbers, they're not false, but they're only sort of reporting numbers that sort of support the narrative of dropping numbers, and they're missing out on some of the different tests.
That's right.
And they're not adding them together properly.
Yeah.
So it's not, Yeah, it's a bit of a numbers game.
Well, yes. So according to the report, on Sunday, the CCSA reported two figures of new COVID-19 infection cases in Thailand. 10,817 infections were from PCR testing, and 10,055 were from antigen kit testing. So together they should add up to about 20,000 and a little bit. 21,000 actually. However, in the news briefing, the CCSA reported only the total number being 10,817. So they did not add those two numbers, even though those two numbers correctly correlate what the real infection number is in Thailand.
According to the rural doctors.
According to the Rural Doctors Society.
So I bet there was a hasty phone call from the CCSA to the rural. What the hell are you saying? Don't talk to the media. Right. They'll just bend and twist the truth around.
Well, the RDS is saying that the real number is around 20,000, if not 30,000 infections per day.
So let me bet that sometime today the RDS will come out and say, well, what we meant to say, I'm sure that's going to happen.
Well, if you'd like more details and information about this topic, you can find the latest information on thetiger.com.
So today you may notice that we're in a different background here. These are actually the new chairs we will be sitting in.
That's right, and our desks will be arriving today or tomorrow.
The desk? Oh, our work desks will arrive today.
No, not the work desk. I mean the Good Morning Thailand desk. Yes.
What's the date? There's another 8 days before the desk arrives.
I see.
So sorry about that. But we've got boxes of cameras and picture frames, and that's a green screen.
Yeah, we've got our new light boxes. We've got a lot of equipment to set up and to start using.
This is not permanent.
Yeah, this is temporary. But hey, you get the beautiful Bangkok city view just to prove that we're here. We're finally here.
We're actually here.
Right. And
in the dark red zone.
In the dark red zone for you, for the team, for the viewers. Anyways, we hope that you've enjoyed today's episode. We'd just like to thank you for always supporting us. Thank you to Coffee Culture for sponsoring the show and providing us coffee every morning in these beautiful mugs. You can find your roast coffee and ground coffee on www.coffeeculture.asia.
Love that coffee.
Right, love that coffee. Anyways, we hope you've enjoyed today's show. If you liked the video, please click like and subscribe to our channel. That always helps. Join us as a member if you'd like to be a Thaiger member. Anything from you, Tim?
Well, I was just going to say, for the members, as we mentioned at the start, we're going to be doing a new program, hopefully starting tomorrow.
That's right.
With Caitlin and myself. We don't know the name yet. We'll do some think tanking after this.
Right.
Probably the Tim and Caitlin show. But it's going to be like what are the hot topics today? How is the news cycle going to travel? Bit of a sort of a journalistic look at some of the stories around. That'll only be available for members.
That's right. And hey, please support Natty, our new host on Thailand Top Stories today. So stay tuned for that.
Good luck, Natty.
That's right. As for us, we'd like to say thank you for watching the show. Have a great Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow.